All right, here we go. So, number 15, what is the decimal representation of the part of the figure that is shaded? Okay, so here's the figure. What fraction is this?
7/10.
Which one? I heard six.
7/10.
7/10. Thank you for the fraction representation. So, if this is 7/10, what would be the decimal of 7/10?
0.7.
Or
0.70.
very good. Do not put a zero in front of the seven when it's tenths. That makes it hundreds. Okay, and then it's no longer equivalent. Okay, so which one is our answer? A, B, C, or D?
A.
Very good. Y'all gotta be very careful with those zeros. You're messing up a lot of times the zeros. You're messing up a lot of times because of the zeros. Not that you don't know it, but because you are not being using precision with doing the work. Okay. So number 16, the humming and the singing. You're distracting me. So if you're distracting me, you're distracting your classmates. Can someone turn the light off? Because that glare is back up here again. All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, number 16. 400 is equivalent to which decimal below? A, B, C, or D? Which one of these represents 400ths? Nautica.
Oh yeah.
D. Very good. The biggest thing that I need you to remember is whole number, whole number to the left of the decimal. One place to the right is tenths, humming and singing again. And the second place to the decimal is hundredths. If you know your place value, you can imagine them all. You got to know your place value. That number itself does not move. If it's 7/10, it stays in the tenths place. You don't move it over. So if 7/10, 7 stays there, and then you can put a zero behind it, but not in front of it, and move it to the hundredths. It's no longer tenths when you move it to the hundredths place. Okay, any questions about 16? All right, number 17. Which sentence correctly compares and explains a pair of decimals? So A says 5/10 is greater than 33 hundredths because 5/10 is greater than 33 hundredths. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. B, 6 hundredths is less than 3 hundredths because 6 hundredths is less than 3 hundredths. Yes or no?
No.
What about C then? 3/10 is greater than 48 hundredths because 3/10 is greater than 48 hundredths.
No.
Or D, 16 hundredths is greater than 2/10 because 16 hundredths is greater than 2/10.
Yes.
When? Are y'all paying attention? Ladies, stop. Because you've already answered incorrectly, so that tells me you're still not completely sure, because if you were completely sure, you would have given the correct answer first. Okay, so let's look at what you did, what you're saying. Number one, you should have known that you can't even compare these decimals because they don't even have the same place values. This is tenths, this is hundredths. I can't compare them. I can't compare them. Either I need to change it to a fraction and make sure we have hundredths, or you need to make sure you add that zero behind that tenth so that you can actually see the comparison. Same thing here. This already has hundredths. This one doesn't. So that means that I need to put that 0 there so that I can see, compare 30 and 48. Same thing with D. This is 16, this is 2/10. 1600ths, this is 2/10. I can't compare them because it's only one place value here. So I need to put that 0 there so I can compare them. Please stop trying to compare decimals and fractions that do not have the same denominator. We've said it over and over and over. We've changed, multiply by 10/10. And then when you get to the decimal, you switch it up and then you start getting them wrong. You've got to know to add your 0 behind the tenths so they both are in hundredths. That is how you can compare them. Okay, so what is our answer? A, B, C, or D? A is the correct answers, ladies. Not D. Because this is 1600ths, this is 2000ths. It's greater. Okay? All right, questions? Do y'all understand that you got to change your tenths to hundredths to compare to hundredths? Whether it's a fraction or a decimal. If you forget to do that, then you're probably going to get the wrong answer. Okay, number 18. Some of y'all are trying to go ahead and trying to finish it, and we're going through them. I need you to stay with me so that you're focused on what we're talking about and you get the information that you need to get. If you're already still trying to go to the bottom, Autumn, then you're not with us. And you might miss some very pertinent information as we go through them. Number 18, a comparison of two squares with shaded parts is shown below. Okay, so let's look at these fractions. What fraction is A, ladies?
44.
Okay, so remember you can count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So this is what?
4400.
44 hundredths. All right, and B is 30 tenths.
No, 310. It'll be 30 hundredths.
It is 3/10, but it's also equivalent to 30 hundredths by adding the 0 behind the 3 so that it's in the hundredths place. That is how we can compare. So I can write it as that or as a fraction. Okay? All right, now we can compare 44 hundredths and 30 hundredths. It says write the correct decimals that represents the shaded part of each whole square and the symbol that correctly compares the decimals. All right, so let's look. Square A represents, and it asks us to put it in decimals, so I know it's 0.44. And then B represents 0.30, because I can't compare two fractions or decimals that do not have the same denominator. Okay, therefore square A is blank than square B. Is it greater than, is it less than, or is it equal to square B? It is greater than. Wait a minute. Here. All right, here we go. Let's look at the bottom. Number 19. Number 19. The angry tree . The angry tree is 1. Remember, this is your whole number. 1 and, decimal is and, 34 hundredths meters tall. It's shorter, that's the angry tree. Okay, thank you. He's angry. All right, so he is shorter than the happy tree. Which of the following can be the happy tree's height? Okay, so if this is 1 and 34 hundredths or 1 and 34 over 100, what would be greater than 1 and 34 hundredths? That's what it's asking. What is greater than 1 and 34 hundredths? Okay, McKinley.
Oh yeah, McKinley. 1 and 4300.
Very good. Okay, so when we compare them, we know that C is the correct answer. So read that carefully when you get your test so that you have the correct understanding of what it's asking for. All right, any questions about 19? All right, number 20. Charlie received the following number of candies in the 14 boxes from the Candy Expo. Okay, so in one box she received 10 pieces, in another box 11, in another box 12, 10, 10, 12, 10, 12, 14, 10, 19, 9, 14, 9, and 8. That's the number of candies in each of the boxes. Which line plot correctly displays Charlie's candy boxes? All right, so first of all, let's look at it. How many? It starts with 8. How many 8s are in our data? Up here. 1. All right, so automatically I know which one is not correct.
C.
I automatically know C is not correct, okay? Because it has 3 for 8. All right, let's look at 9. How many 9s should we have? 2. So now which one can I eliminate? A, because A does not have 2. The next number is 10. How many 10s do we have in our data? 5. So which one would be correct? B or D?
D.
D. Very good.
Which one of those represent?
Okay, and we can see that there's 1 11, there's 3 12s, and no 13s and 2 14s. Okay, number 21. Any questions about the data plots? All right, number 21. Miss Ross recorded the number of hours read by students for the yearly readathon. This shows the time read, 2 hours, because it says in hours, 2 and a 1/4 hour, 2 and 2/4 hours, 3 hours, 3 and 1/4 hour, and 3 and 2/4 hours. The number of students that read for each. For 2 hours, 5 students read. For 2 1/4 hour, no one read. For 2 and 2/4 hours, there was 1 student that read. For 3 hours, 3 students read. For 3 1/4 hours, 2 students read. And 3 and 2/4 hours, 4 students read. Okay? All right, so Miss Ross made a line plot with the data from the chart. Which line plot correctly shows the data from Mrs. Ross's chart? From Miss Ross's chart. So we start with 2, we end with 4. So for 2 hours, how many people read for 2 hours?
5.
Look at your chart. How many people read for 2 hours?
5.
Are you looking at your data? Are you looking at your data? How many people read for 2 hours? 5, not 2. For 2 hours, 5 people read. Okay? So, which one would be correct? A, B, or C?
B.
Which one?
B.
B. That's the only one where it shows for 2 hours, 5 scholars read. Okay? For 2 and 1/4 hour, no one read. That's why it's nothing there. For 2 and 2/4 hours, 1 person read. That's correct. I can look back up here at my data. Okay? For 3 hours, 3 people read. Look back at my data. There it is. For 3 1/4 hours, 2 people read. Look back at my data. It's right there. And then for 3 2/4 hours, 4 people read. And look back at my data. That is why B is the correct answer. Questions? All right, and the last question, number 22. Look at the line plot. It says puppies sold at PetSmart in 1 hour. Okay? Amount in pounds. So, no puppies. Then there's puppies that were 1/4 pounds. Puppies that are 2/4 pounds. Puppies that were 3/4 pounds. How many puppies were 3/4 pounds? Hello? 3. How many puppies were 4/4 pounds or 1 pound?
2.
How many puppies were 1 and 1/4 pounds?
0.
How many puppies weigh 1 and 2/4 pounds?
2.
2. How many puppies weigh 1 and 3/4 pounds?
0.
All right. What's the total amount of pounds the puppies weigh? So what do I need to do? I gotta add everything. So in other words, you see 3/4. Am I gonna just add 3/4 plus 4/4 plus 1 and 2/4? Is that what we're doing? No. How many 3/4 should I add? 3. So 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. Yes.
Or you could do 3/4 times 3.
Yes. Or 3/4 times 3, which equals what?
9/4.
Hello, ladies.
9/4.
Equals 9/4. Okay. All right, so we got the first one done. And then 4/4 times what?
2.
Times 2 equals what?
8/4.
Which equals what?
2.
Ooh, equals what?
1 whole.
Is it just one whole?
1/2.
1/2.
No.
So we go back to what I taught you about fraction. A fraction is really a what?
Piece of what?
Division.
Say it loud.
Division.
8/4. A fraction is a division problem. What's 8 divided by 4?
1.
Stop talking and think, because y'all screaming out stuff, and I know you know better than what you're saying. What is 8 divided by 4?
2.
Oh, okay. Now, my problem, actually, when I think about it, is really not that you didn't know that. It's that you saw that 4/4 and you didn't immediately say that's 1, and then another one is another one, that's 2. 4/4 is a whole. They said 2 puppies weighed a pound. Okay? All right, so 2 pounds. And then we have 1 3/4.
You need 2/4.
Yeah, 1 2/4. Thank you for that correction. 1 2/4 plus 1 2/4. How much does that equal?
4/4.
Wait a minute. How does 1 plus 1 equal 1?
2 4/4.
2 4/4, which actually equals how many?
3.
3 wholes, because 4/4 is a whole. Right? So ladies, this is telling me you've got to be precise with your thinking. You got to think through this and make sure, because you know what 4/4 equal. I know you know. You got to be able to transfer your learning from one thing to the next. So when we're doing something different, it still equals 1 whole. Don't change your mind. It still equals 1 whole. So now I have 3 wholes. You better focus now. Sit up. Sit up, both of you. All right, so now we have 3 plus 2 plus 9/4. So that tells me I probably need to change 9/4 because it's a big-headed fraction.
Or a fraction better than 1.
So what is my answer, 9/4 equals what? 2 wholes. And what's left over? And 1/4. Because 9 divided by 4 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And then there will be 1 left over. Right? And then my denominator stays the same. Okay? So now I don't really have to write it down, but 3 plus 2 equals 5. So I know I have 5 wholes. So 5 plus 2 and 1/4 equals how many whole pieces? 5 plus 2?
7.
That's your whole numbers, ladies. Your brain, I need y'all to automatically know that 5 plus 2 is 7. By this time, y'all should know 5 plus 2 is 7. Shouldn't be any counting on our fingers. 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 plus 2 is always going to be 7. It's not going to change tomorrow. Not going to change in the next few minutes. Okay? So if I have 5 plus 2 is 7, and then the 1/4, there's nothing to add to it. So we just bring it over. So my answer is 7 and 1/4. Which is our answer? C. Okay? Very good. All right, and that is the end of our study.